All right, guys, welcome to the Jen Lowry Writes channel. And today I am ready for my Friday afternoon writing sprints. So, writing sprints have been around for a long time. And I know people that participate in NaNoWriMo and writing communities and on Twitter. They may have seen people joining together and doing sprints and just encouraging one another, motivating one another. I've just never done them before. And so one of my friends, she was talking about how much she loved the writing sprints with following another author. And I was like, you know what? I need to research this stuff. If she's talking about it and she's saying that it's beneficial for her, then maybe it'll be beneficial for me. And sure enough, I actually enjoyed the writing sprints. I was productive. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try these things. And I have really had fun doing the writing sprints. One, I'm a talk out person. So I love the podcast. I love being able to get on and talk with my readers and be across social media. And I'm learning a new platform for the Writers Conference. So you can go to Eventbrite and you can type in Writing Warriors for Jesus Writing Conference. It's our WWJ Writing Conference. And you guys can check out our free tickets, all free, all day long, to talk about writing. I'm so excited about being able to, organize that and help bring that to all of us for free. So I'm learning Twitch. And I'm streaming live on YouTube at the same time, and I'm checking comments and seeing how to try to manage Chatterino and all of these different things, all at one time. So while I'm writing, so I'm not saying that I'm a perfect technology wizard here, but I am saying that I love learning new things, and I'm just so excited to be able to share my writing time with you. So I'll tell you what I've been up to today. You guys know that I work full time. I'm a teacher, and we're in our virtual environment. So we've had tutoring sessions today. I've had meetings today, and I'm very productive on that end. But I woke up super early. So I was streaming at 6 o'clock and I got a chapter done. And I can't tell you what that does to me, knowing that I already have that checkbox done about my writing early in the morning. I was extremely productive. I wrote like 1,400 words this morning in the 17 minutes. And that's the kind of productivity that I'm talking about. Like, I need this in my life. So I shared it with another one of my writing friends. And I was like, you know what? Let's not lose this momentum. Let's keep going. And so I jumped right back on and scheduled another broadcast. I was like, I got to keep writing today. Can you guys promise me? Last night, it was like 9 o'clock and I wanted to write. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do the sprint. If I'm writing, I want to do it streaming and I want to be with people and help encourage and motivate them. So I'm like, okay, it gives me that extra fuel. Well, I was also getting some more fuel. I had a gigantic cup of coffee sitting beside me at 9 o'clock last night. My giant one, the one that's bigger than what I'm showing you on the screen. Try to tell me no in the chat in the evenings if you see me start pulling out that giant coffee mug. Because I had a difficult time sleeping last night, of course, wouldn't you think? And then I had to get up super early this morning. So I did have to kind of take a power nap. But that didn't work out too well because the kids were texting. When we're chatting, I've got everything up, social media up, got all that. But I will close down social media when it's time for us to do the writing sprints. So right now I have my Twitter up. I've already closed up my Facebook. So I'm going through and checking Twitter. Everything's fine. Everything's good. And now I'm starting to close out some of these unnecessary windows that I have up here on my screen. If I get work emails, I'm always answering those. If you guys were with me last night, you know that for a doggone fact because you were with me when I was getting work emails at 9:30 at night. So I'm not saying that when you're having this time to write, everything can just go away, but you do really need to have a consistent schedule when you're writing. And if you can find that same kind of time that is very is your place, then that's the time when you should try the writing sprints too. So that's the good thing about banking videos. And, what I mean by that is you could go to YouTube and you could check out previous recorded episodes of the writing sprints. You can stay here with me on Twitch and you can stay with me for these days where it's going to be up in my in the talk show categories. Follow me here and you'll be able to get these instant notifications when I'm going live. So, it can be on your time. If you're not ready to write with me now, just hang out and chat and talk with me and work on something else. You can have the screen going at the same time. But then when you're ready to write, you can have that 17-minute writing burst with me at the same time. So I've been setting clocks like, okay, 7 minutes of talking. That's about what I need to do. So now I'm going back in, cutting that off, and going into my timer again. And now I'm going to go to the 17-minute timer. I love the 17 minutes for me. So I write middle grades. I do write young adult and new age and children's picture books. So I'm across target populations. But what I'm working on right now is middle grades. And I have found that 17 is like a perfect time for me to almost be able to get in a chapter. If you've been following the sprints, I'm like, last sentence. Or I have like just a little bit to go, one more paragraph, right at 17 minutes. There's just something magical about what's happening here. And I'm writing about witches and magic. And then I'm over here writing about fairies and magic. And the 17 is magical. So I'm keeping it. And so I know if you do other people's writing sprints, they may do 15 minutes. And I have been on writing sprints where they were doing 25 minutes. And so if you're going to come in at this odd time and you just see me and I'm not saying anything and it looks a little weird, it's because I'm typing right here. And I'm not muting it because I want to see what happens because when I'm on certain platforms, you'll get a ding, you'll get a notification if you get a chat or something like that. Well, I'm still learning all of this stuff. So I'm not muting my mic. I'm able to still talk with you. You're able to still see everything in real time. I don't want to forget that I had my mic muted. So if you hear the clicking of the typewriter my keyboard, then you know I'm writing. So you just join in, you continue working at your own pace, and then we'll chat together. So I've got everything pulled up. And I do want to play. I'm going to be playing around with some of these banners and some of these notifications and things. I'm learning. And I thank you guys for being here with me while I'm researching and going through it and while I'm actually getting a lot done. So I say this every time. I really think it's important for you to have right beside you a journal at all times. Where's my pen? Because you never know when something is just going to come up and I'm going to say, oh, here's my pen. And I need to write it down. So especially if I'm getting a text from someone or I think of something to add to my list. I have my to-do list over here. It's not long for today because today was doing these writing sprints. But I do need to make an Instagram account for the WWJs. So that's on my to-do list. Also to create a to-do list. And yeah, seriously. So on my to-do list, I'm writing to-do list because I have this idea in my head. And it's to help other authors too. and I could put it up on my website or somewhere, Teachers Pay Teachers or something, so you guys can download it. But I'm thinking of organization and how can I model that? And just because I don't necessarily do all of the steps that are effective maybe for you and not for me, just having things available and trying them out is crucial. You never know until you try. So that's why the writing sprints have been helpful. I have got my to-do list. I have my journal with me all the time anyway. But it's just not as organized. Like my journal, oh my gosh, guys. I get picked at so much at work. Like if you can see, like it's a bunch of like swirly stuff. I like to draw boxes around things. I never usually write down straight. I'm always turning my pen and moving sideways, and I'm usually doodling on my journal. So this is my process. But I do need a calendar. So my journal, I need a calendar. And listen, I have Google Calendar at work, and I've got to put in my minute by minute my coaching duties. When I coach, I really don't want to use Google Calendar for my other life. I want to separate that somehow. I want it tangible. I want to print a calendar, or I want a Google Slide calendar, like right there, Google Slide in my face. I don't want to be on the Google Calendar system for it. I know that sounds silly. Maybe I can, but I would really love to have the paper copy to be able to doodle on it. So I'm planning on making calendars today. I'm probably going to be doing it on Canva. So that's what I'm talking about, like with the to-do list. I'm probably going to be making some WWJ calendars, and I'm going to surprise my WWJs with some printables that they can have too. And it's just because I want to try some of these things, and I'm planning my launch because Sweet Potato Jones, if you didn't know, I'm an author, by the way. I'm at my 20th book, and Sweet Potato Jones comes out August the 18th. So think about it. It's June 5th right now. Yeah, exactly. That means I've got a couple of months, and I really need to take a calendar and plan out my launch and break everything apart. I'm doing things step by step. I have my ARC reviews out. I've got blog tour requests in. I've got trade reviews out. You know, I'm doing things that take a couple of months, 3 months back, but there's still a lot of other things I could be doing. And I feel like if I don't capture them somewhere, except in all this mess I've got in this journal, if I don't put it out in a calendar, I might miss it. So I'm thinking of a visual calendar for me. But hey, if you use Google Calendar, go for it. I use it every day at work. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's just that's my work, and I want something else for Sweet Potato. I want to separate my mind. But I do love Google products. I use them all the time. Speaking of, I'm using Jamboard. So I've talked another 7 minutes to you guys, talking about tips and ways to organize. So Jamboard is something that I absolutely love. And I am using it for editing right now. And I really think that this is going to be the future for Jen for editing. I love the strategy I'm using from Kate DiCamillo. If this is the first time that you've caught up with me in one of the live streams, first, welcome. And second, Kate DiCamillo is my favorite author, and she was given a writing tip last week, and I was like, I could try that. I only have 17 chapters. Yeah, right. It's only going to take me 17 days if I do these writing sprints. So there were a couple of days that I didn't do them. So I'm trying to do like 3 sprints today, separating by morning, afternoon, and then I'm going to come back later tonight and do another sprint at night. I'm going to try to get 3 chapters done today in that way. And by Sunday, I hope to finish the next round of the rewrites. And when I say rewrites, I rewrote Bad to the Bone. So I had my book completed, and it's done, and I have it in an agency right now. It got picked up at Pit Dark. So say prayers for Bad to the Bone Club. It can take up to 8 weeks for me to hear back, and if they would, request additional materials from me. So we'll see. But at this time, what can I do? I can go back in and take Kate's advice and rewrite. And I'm loving that. If this does not get picked up by a traditional publisher, if it doesn't get picked up by March of next year, somebody just asked what channel was I on right now. So let me go check that notification. If Bad to the Bone does not get picked up by a traditional publishing company, then I am definitely going to cool. I'm definitely going to self-publish Bad to the Bone Club. I already have a cover. I'm probably going to rework the cover. My son and I were talking about, my oldest son, 17-year-old, we were talking about the Spiderwick Chronicles cover, and he's like, Mom, I remember that cover. That cover was one of the best ones, and a series of unfortunate events. He was like, Mom, for that age for me, those two series books were my favorite covers ever. And so he was talking about how much the cover matters. I'm like, the cover matters across genres. I need to redo and revamp some of my covers. And so I'm like, yeah, I know how important it is. So if my long-term goals for March of 2021, this one's going to be published, but I have plenty of time to do tons of extensive edits and rewrites and get an editor and all of that good stuff that I'm planning on doing for Bad to the Bone. So I'm going back into my middle grades horror comedy, and I am in chapter 14. Super excited. I want to see what it happens now. So I'm going to scroll down because this was at 6 o'clock this morning when I wrote chapter 13. Oh, it had a song in it. Some of my favorites are songs and books. Oh, I have to do a resume too. I have to write a resume. I made a placeholder for it because I'm going to create it in Canva. I started chapter 14 this morning because I was on a roll. As soon as I got off of the sprint, I was like, wait, I know where it's going to start, because I already had Van Tooth, the name of one of the leader. Okay. Oh my gosh, I didn't set the timer. Oh my gosh. See? Not perfect. I accidentally clicked on Google and then I hit Twitch. And it said, ooh, could be having all that. Okay. I'm researching as I type. I don't know if you guys do that or not. We can talk about that later. looking up names for last names. As I go. I also love using synonyms. The synonym Okay, I'm almost done with this sprint, so I want to finish up these last thoughts. I'm getting close. Last one. I'm going back. Orpheus. Drake. This is going to be a long chapter because I'm working dialogue right now and I've got to finish it. Okay, that's where I'm going to stop. And now I'm going to go. This is going to be long, but I couldn't stop. I needed that dialogue in there. Might not be. Just might have felt long. You know, I was bragging about that. 17 minutes was perfect. And then I went way over. No, 13:31. So that's good. Okay. 13:31. So now in my rewrite, which I am loving, I'm at 17,071. Now this lets you know the difference because it was 17,000. Now I'm in 17,000, and I still have 3 more chapters to go. So it's going to be a little longer, maybe 20,000 words, which is great for early reader, middle grade. 23,000. That's, anytime, anywhere around that range, 17,000 or above. And I love working with students with special needs. That's what my master's degree is in. And so anytime that I'm working on books, I'm thinking of students who may not navigate towards books and printed word as one of their first choices. And so when I'm creating characters and scenes and pacing, I'm always thinking about the reluctant reader and hoping that I can capture that reader. And so I do pay attention to my chapters and the word counts and all of that good stuff. So I've done it. I've finished another chapter today, so that's 2. And I'm almost at my 1 hour for my stream, because that's another goal that I wanted. I wanted to kind of stream for around an hour. That would give people to come in and out, understand that I was doing the writing sprints, and then they could always catch up and then start their timers, and hopefully I can get people on the right track. So I'm back looking at my Jamboard and knowing that I only have 3 more chapters to go. It's going to be super great, because if I have the stamina to be able to go 1 more writing sprint round, then that means that tonight I could get chapter 15 done. If not, and I'm just completely tired, it already has been a long day. It's rainy outside. It's cool in the house. As you can see, I have on my sweatshirt. I might just say, let's watch The Mentalist and catch back up on some episodes, because I'm pretty much binge watching that show. But right now, my kids are going to be going, what's for supper? I can't believe they haven't started texting yet. Usually around this time every day, they'll go, what's supper? When's supper going to be ready? Or what are we having? So I've got to do hot dogs and chips and dip. We've got, they love dip. And I got hummus, and I've got ranch dip. So I'm going for the hummus. I will tell you that now. So we're not talking writing, we're talking food. We can talk about all things here, right? But it's really great to be able to have this consistent time. And while I'm typing, and I know that you're on the other side of the screen typing, and I know that you're out there in your space, in your writing cove, and in your pajamas maybe, and your coffee, it gives me that peace and that comfort to know that I'm not alone in this, and neither are you. We're here together and, meeting these goals together. So I'm actually going to go and write that I want to do 1 more writing sprint, because there's something about writing it down and then speaking a goal out loud. 1 more sprinting session that can really help motivate you too. So maybe by just me writing that and putting a star and underlining it, going a little extra, will remind me that around 9 o'clock tonight, I would try to get on just without coffee. I don't try to stay up super late because I get up early in the mornings. So 9 o'clock is about as late as I think I would do a stream. I say that, and then, fit in time whenever you can. And so, I have no perfect schedule, and neither do you. So when we can find the time to write, even if it's during a lunch break, or if it's after supper and the house is kind of, kids are taking baths or they're watching TV, and you have that downtime a little bit, spend it on your writing, or spend it on going over goals and journaling or writing poetry. Being productive in one way or another for your writing, and try your best to do at least one thing for the day. So today I was on social media some. I was on Twitter for a little bit. I checked out Flash Fiction. If you've never looked at Furious Fiction, it's open for this weekend. And if you miss it, type in Furious Fiction and join us the next month, because they always do it at the very beginning of the month. So the first weekend of the month. And it's 500 words, $500, and it's a free entry. And this one, I really love it because it has to do with like maybe some world building that I had done in Bad to the Bone and in Sweet Potato Jones. So I'm actually looking to write 2 500-word stories, but I would only submit the one from Sweet Potato Jones, not the one from, not this one, not Bad to the Bone, because submitting that middle grades and talking about a Frankenstein monster on a sinister field, I think that's too far out there. However, I can use that scene as maybe the epilogue. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I'm going to turn it around and make that the epilogue. First game of the season. That would be perfect. I'm going to write that down. You can ask people that I work with, especially my librarians. I go to them for brainstorming. They're brilliant. I respect them so much, and I love them. And I love being around books. And so when I get to go into the library and just kind of like be around books, my thoughts just start overflowing. But I'm a person that loves to talk things out. And I don't know if you're like that or not, but I love vocalizing these thoughts and these ideas and what's going on. And so by me talking just in that short amount of time about Furious Fiction and what could I do with that side story, I already said, oh, I got it. I can use the epilogue, and it can be, about Benji. So I'm excited, and that gives me even like a greater purpose to do Furious Fiction. So I don't look at competitions as a distraction. If they're going to be a distraction to my writing, I'm not going to enter them. If they complement my writing, then I'm going to join them. And if they have a free entry, of course I will. But my writing comes first, and people will go like, okay, so how many books are you writing? I've got 2 going on right now, but they've already been written. I'm just doing this strategy of the rewrite. Love this strategy. And so I'm really pleased with what has happened from this experience. I'm going to do a reflection on it on the podcast, so that way you guys can just hear me talk out the way that this editing has gone, because this is new. It's a completely new strategy. And so as soon as I finish this round of edit, I am definitely doing a podcast on that. Because this could help someone, or you might say, no, not at all. Or you might not even need to do the whole book this way. You might even just need to do the first chapter this way, or you might have a place in the middle where you might need to do it. So this could help someone. And I took the advice from Kate DiCamillo, and so now I'm just passing on her words of wisdom after I'm trying it myself and absolutely loving it. So I'm getting off, going to cook supper. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I'm so glad that you joined me for the ride-in. Follow the channel. I would love to have you stay with me. It really helps me too, to know that I'm surrounded by a really great writing community. I can't tell you how much I love my WWJs. You heard me talk about them earlier, the Writing Warriors for Jesus. I'm going to put the banner back up again just to remind you guys that our conference is coming up on August the 22nd. And I would love it if you would go on out and get your ticket, because once you get your ticket and you register, those emails are going to go into a raffle, and we have 3 Pro Writing Aid year subscriptions to give away. Guys, I love that Pro Writing Aid and StreamYard and BookBrush have graciously agreed to be our sponsors for the event. So definitely, I'm loving StreamYard right now. I upgraded on my own. They're not giving me like this month to whatever. No, I don't have a coupon. I went straight to StreamYard after I got the sponsorship, and I hit from free to upgrade so I could learn to stream on 2 channels. And then once comments start coming in, and once I start learning how to manage Twitch, I do believe this is going to be one of the platforms that we would be able to host a conference. And we could get crowds popping in and getting to see Nancy Nagel, watch a bunch of Hallmark before her, and read her books. She's got a book on pre-order right now. You're going to get to meet the WWJs. You're going to meet best-selling authors. You're going to meet HarperCollins and a literary agent for do's and don'ts, Linda Glass from the Heart Agency. I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to bring all of these experts in the field to one day free to share their gifts with all of us. So make sure you check out the Eventbrite tickets. You can follow us on Facebook. Now, I do believe that this is God thing. When I went on, if you go to Twitter, and I just stuck it in to the comments, if you go to Twitter and you do @JesusWriting, you're going to see the purple banner for the WWJs. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and you will be able to keep up to there with the events. And I'm going to be introducing speakers. My last day of work is next week, so I will be going into teacher summer. But for me, that means an intensive writing regimen. And hey, how are you? It's good to have you here. I'm talking about summer writing and all of the things that I have to look forward to this summer. I'm really going to be online a lot, doing the writing sprints, just sharing writing tips and what's working and what might not work for me but might work for you, and doing some of the promotions for the Writing Warriors for Jesus conference. So I love that everything is just coming together. I have not been stressed about the conference at all. And you would think, wait, you're organizing such a big virtual conference for free? The Lord has just been opening doors everywhere I go. And so thanks to StreamYard, we're here, and I'm Twitch streaming. And oh, wow. Yeah. But you'll have that time to travel when and praying about that, praying that you'll have that opportunity to go to Russia, and hope that you're going to continue to be able, if you have family there, that you'll be able to continue to keep up with them virtually. And if it was for vacation, just really, take this time to continue to research and plan and map out. But I'm looking forward just to this summer, being able to get a lot of sustained writing time in and planning for that conference. And so even though we can't get together for the writing conference and go to, a big conference center and have all of this face-to-face interaction, the lovely thing about virtual conferences is that we can enjoy them for free. We can enjoy them from our home, from the comforts of our home, and still be able to connect with other writers and talk about Jesus and writing all day. So I'm really looking forward to that. So, all right, my minute, my hour, yes. I'll continue to pray for you. My son, he also wants to go to Russia too. He wants to visit and travel and tour. So every day with my streams, I'm hoping to keep them into the 1 hour range. That way my voice starts to go. It gives me that ability to be able to do the quick writing sprints. We did the 17-minute, a little bit more today, because I was right near the end of a chapter. But I actually accomplished writing chapter 14 in the sprint, doing the rewrites for the edits for my middle grade horror comedy. And I'll be back tonight at 9 o'clock. That's what I have written down in my goals to do, unless The Mentalist takes over, because I am binge watching that show. But I really want to start having this sustained time. So I've written 2 chapters today because of these writing sprints. So I was on at 6 a.m. this morning. I was like, okay, 3 o'clock, and now I'm going to try to do a 9 o'clock and see if I can knock out one more chapter. And if not, we can talk about writing and just chat about what's going on in our writing life, and I can share some tips and some strategies. So I hope that you guys have a blessed day, and I just thank you for joining me, and God bless you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later.